Hello and welcome. I'm Craig Harrington, and today's topic is American vulnerability. The United States is now more vulnerable than at any point in its history. Our economic and political system is being taken over by hostile foreign interests. These interests have dominated many of our most prominent and important industries. Basic manufacturing, like that of televisions, is 100% foreign-owned. Sound recording and the music industry in the United States is 97% foreign-owned. The metal ore and refining industry in the U.S., the steel industry, which was the backbone of our industrial production, is 65% foreign-owned. And many of those industries which are not majority owned by foreign interests are certainly dominated by foreign companies. The auto industry, for instance, is not majority owned by any foreign company, but it is certainly dominated by automakers from Japan and Europe. The United States cannot sustain itself without owning our own industrial sectors, and we don't own any of the most important ones anymore. The United States simply cannot compete with foreign wages, foreign technology, and foreign trade protections. Making matters worse is the fact that our government has set up no program of incentives to keep companies producing here, to keep companies employing American workers. There is no reason for a company to produce in the United States, where its goods and its services would be extremely expensive, when that company could simply relocate unimpeded to some overseas country. They could use that country. They could use its depressed wages, its technological base, or its trade protections to produce with wide profit margins which simply could not be attained in the U.S. Because of this, our industries have been systematically replaced by foreign-owned ones. And our country has become increasingly dependent on foreign imports. The United States has run an import deficit every single year since 1976, but in the mid-90s, with the internationalization of economic liberalization and with the passage of the North American Free Trade Agreement and the World Trade Organization, we watched our import deficit, which had been a mere marginal number, explode into the hundreds of billions. During the 8 years of the Bush presidency, this economy lost $4.8 trillion. That's $4.8 trillion, which had been built up by generations of hard work, and all of it was gone in less than a decade. Of the money that left, only a tiny proportion returned to the U.S. in the form of investment, and even that investment was bad for the U.S. because it was used to buy out our assets. We cannot continue this. It is not sustainable. In 2007 and 2008, when the American economy was in the grips of recession, we saw our import deficits stay steady at over $700 billion. Making matters worse is the fact that the United States can't control its own budget. Our government spends more than it brings in, and it covers its losses with imported foreign loans. Increasing the budgetary strain is the fact that we are currently embroiled in very costly conflicts overseas. The United States cannot continue importing goods and exporting money. We cannot continue obligating ourselves to loan payments that we cannot repay. This country makes nothing of substance. We don't have any real money, no real value or wealth in this nation. The only way we can pay off our loan obligations is by accumulating more loan obligations. We are destroying our future today because we cannot control ourselves. We can't control our consumption. We can't control our spending. All of it needs to be stopped. We need to contact our congressmen. We need to contact our senators and our president and tell them that we need a fiscal policy which is responsible, which looks out for future growth, which creates jobs and wealth here in the United States, and which brings under control the unimpeded losses that we've seen for decades in the United States. We need to do something before it's too late. On behalf of concerned citizens, I'm Craig Harrington with EconomyInCrisis.org News.
Wake up, America! Open up your eyes! Wake up, America! Wake up!
Produced by EconomyInCrisis.org.